Welcome to an evening of literature with Katie Martin. Anne-Marie MacDonald's Goodnight, Desdemona isn't really a feminist play. It's just a play where the men have been given unimportant roles. They act merely as foils for the women. But there's really nothing progressive with the play when you think about the roles of the female characters. Although they feature largely in the plot, they've really been broken down into two stereotypical categories, the misandrous and the philandrous. The first group is so keen to emphasize their independence that all they do is rage and storm around and threaten to kill each other. The philandrous are just sex-crazed maniacs, obsessed with the need for male company and unable to function on their own. Neither group makes for very convincing or three-dimensional characters. MacDonald's definitely aren't. Even the so-called protagonist of this play is nothing more than a pathetic woman who is incapable of doing anything with the assistance of the tyrannical Professor Claude Knight. She's struggling against unfairness in the academic community and the misuse of her talents by this evil man to make some kind of mark by decoding an ancient manuscript to discover that, in fact, Othello and Romeo and Juliet are both intended to be comedies as opposed to tragedies. However, the protagonist's method for dealing with her problems is to disappear into a magical garbage can, which is not exactly a good coping strategy for women in the world who are facing actual problems. Triumph of the female protagonist over the patriarch who has been oppressing her or dominating her life. However, Anne-Marie MacDonald's play attains this triumph in the most pathetic way possible, using a supernatural out for our heroine, and not giving her any real conclusion. Does she ever get the job she wants? Does she take the job in Regina? Does she ever get married and stop living alone with the cats and the mothballs? Who knows? All we know is that the protagonists of two fictional plays don't kill each other, which is hardly an inspiring resolution to any play. Anne-Marie MacDonald tries to write both a feminist satire and a comedy, however, ultimately fails on both fronts, because her feminist satire fails to deal with the issues at hand in anything even approaching a serious way, instead relying on supernatural trickery and base humor to cover up the real message. And her comedy is simply not funny. Her jokes are tired and old and cliched and have really no traction with an audience older than about 10. I honestly find the play Goodnight, Desdemona to be one of the most offensive pieces of drivel ever put on a page, because its aims are so high and trick you into thinking that you're going to get something that's actually empowering to women in any way, and instead you're treated to a parade of two-dimensional characters who only serve to stereotype women further. And it's not even funny.